Hi guys, I hope you're well if you're new here. My name is Abby and today I'm going to be showing you the plants I'm struggling with, and the reason I'm doing this again is because the last time I did this, I think it was like early midsummer, was because it went down really well, and I think a lot of people love seeing how your plants are doing in your collection in terms of like growth and how well propagating's going and new plants and all that lot. But I also think the flip side of it's really important. So I know when I look at other people's collections, I'm sometimes like, damn, am I the only one that's like having real struggles? So I just want to keep it real, keep it kind of like clear that not every plant collection looks perfect. They are natural, obviously living things. They do suffer from things, they die. And I think now is a certain time of year, especially in the UK, where we're going from a warmer October to a colder November. So we might see more struggles with our plants. And I do apologise if the lighting goes funny or if you can hear men shouting or whatever. I've got a platform outside my building and it's going like up and down because they're replacing the cladding outside our building, and they're really focused on the top 3 floors at the moment. So yeah, if you hear that, that's the reason why, but that's why I'm positioned in my bedroom, because it's a bit more private than like in my living room, where it's just like an open window where they can see everything I'm doing, which is a bit weird. So the first plant I'm struggling with is actually one I'm really sad about, because I didn't necessarily pick this plant, but my husband did. And you know when your partner's like not crazy about plants like you are, but they can appreciate them, and then when they do say, oh, I really like that one plant, and it's struggling, you know, you feel a bit bad. But it's my alocasia stingray. I've left these on here just cause I thought, do you know what, I'm not gonna like cut anything off until we have this chat. But parts of it, I mean, it's still got a new growth point, which has taken ages to come in actually, which makes me think that it's not getting enough water or there's something wrong, because they usually come out really quickly in my experience. But these are all fine. But yeah, these ones are dying off. And as you will see, the new growth point is part of this plant. There's 2 plants in here. And you would think that it would be this one that would die, because usually it's the one it's connected to that dies, but it's not. It's still part of the same plant. Or saying that, the other dying leaf is the other plant. So there's my justification out the window. But I personally think it's just natural. Like, these are older leaves. They've been showing signs of yellowing for a while. This plant is right against my window, so sometimes I catch it touching my window if it has moved, which obviously you don't want because they're freezing cold. But it is against my window, so what I'm going to do to kind of like rectify this is keep an eye on it, bring it closer, like away from the window into the actual room a bit more, swap it out with something that's a bit more durable that can handle it. I'm thinking my Pothos Enjoy is a bit more hardy. And just keep an eye on it, because obviously it might be the cold temperatures it's not keen on. It's also sat on a plate in like a normal dish, which I should probably put in the dishwasher and reuse again, but it's sat on that to catch the water because it does like to be a little bit more wet. And I just find that if it has like water that drains out a little bit and it collects it, it kind of takes it back up again, because obviously, as we know, they like to be a little bit on the more damp side. So that cold plate being right next to the window is probably making it just feel colder. So yeah, that's my first one I'm struggling with. So the next one I'm struggling with, which is it's an easy plant, but it's not. And the non-variegated version was like really difficult. It was always thirsty, and I found this one to be easier. But it's like, it's my Peace Lily variegata or Domino. It has a few odd yellow leaves, you see, like this one, and I personally think it's because I've left it a little long to water. But this was like ages ago, and I just, obviously these small leaves that are yellowing, it was totally fine, it doesn't worry me, but it's winter, it's cold, and it's still super thirsty. And I've said before in last year's how to prepare for winter video, you naturally water less because it's less warm and less sunny, and your plants use less energy and they're not growing, and you naturally water less. But I'm finding that this really doesn't, like, that doesn't apply to this plant. But yeah, there are some yellow leaves on here. I've recently cut some off because they were ugly. I kind of let them go a little bit more yellow before I cut them, just in case they decide that that's as yellow as I get and they'll stay. Like, I could deal with that, but it's kind of borderlining doing my head in a bit. It's a bit ugly. But yeah, it's just one that I'm unfortunately now starting to struggle with. But this to me is, I'm getting a little bit thirsty. Normally the leaves are like kind of more propped up. So yeah, I might need to go back in the shower, even though it's recently just come out of the shower. But it's a funny old one and it's not root bound. I checked that. I love this pot, by the way. This is like from, we've got a Home Sense here. It's like TK Maxx family, which I think in America is like your TJ Maxx. But I think this was like £2.99 and I absolutely love it. But yeah, that's the second one I'm absolutely struggling with at the moment. So this next plant I'm going to show you literally has started to struggle in the last week, and it's so annoying because it's the second one I've had and I really like it. And I have its like sisters, I think you could call them, or cousins, no, sisters. So it's my alocasia black velvet. This is the other leaf. It's not doing good. But I fully appreciate these go dormant over winter, but I'm just a bit gutted because I've got the alocasia silver dragon and the alocasia dragon scale, and I've had both of those over a winter before. The dragon scale, touch wood, is not showing any signs. I'm going to keep touching wood. Not showing any signs of going dormant, and it seems fine. The alocasia silver dragon, it will droop and curl like in when it's thirsty, but it hasn't, touch wood, like died back. But this one, it was fine last week. It was honestly absolutely fine, and then maybe I left it a day or two to water it because it sits on my my plant shelf where my grow light is, so it gets like optimum light all the time. It's not like it's getting less light or it's colder there or anything. But I just can't figure out what it is, and how does it know it's winter? Because it's like baking in the sun. So yeah, I'm a bit gutted about this one. I actually got this from a local plant shop, Plant Point. I did like a, I won like a £10 voucher, and I was like, I want a black velvet, and this was like, I think it was like £6.50. But yeah, I'm really gutted about this one. It's so pretty. But such is life. So with this, I will cut it and I will label it saying alocasia black velvet, and I will kind of hope that I can revive it next year. So yeah, hopefully there's some babies in there as well, but I'm not sure. It's not that old to me, and maybe I've had it for maybe about 6 months. My time is bad, but might be 6 months, could be a little less. So I haven't had it for such a long time, and there wasn't when I potted it, so maybe not. But yeah, it's plant number 3. So this next plant is one that appeared on my last plants I'm struggling with. I'm still struggling, and it almost put me off buying another plant. Like, so I'll show you. So it's the Distributor. I forget the name of this particular species. I put it on the screen. It looks lovely and healthy down here, but obviously closer to the top you see how it's really wrinkly, which usually signifies it's thirsty. Although these are very much a dry out before watering, and although it seems dry, it's not. So I'm not sure what's going on with this one. Like, this whole strand is wrinkly, can you see? Whereas this one's like heavy, it's firm, and this one's a bit hit and miss. So yeah, I mean, this is all new, but I'm really struggling with this one still. It's on my like the shelves in the kind of corner where my kitchen is, where my husband built those ones, and it's got that Grow Star light. They not the one that's like this, it's got the 3-pronged lights, and it seems to It seems to be fine there. It obviously isn't fine there, but I don't know what it is. So every time like I'm in a conversation with someone on Instagram or something about plants, I do question how they're managing to keep theirs happy. And it seems like water when it's like thoroughly dry, and keep it away from direct sunlight. So yeah, it doesn't have any of those kind of like, I'm not doing anything opposite to that. So I'm not sure what's going on with this one. But we'll see. I think as you would have seen in my IKEA plant haul, I bought a Distributor, and I was kind of unsure about it just because of my experience with this one. But I did go ahead with it, and I bought it home, and there were like yellow leaves. Like 2 days after I brought it home, there were yellow leaves that died. There was some that were kind of going like a bit black, like black spots. I was thinking, oh, it's a fungal infection. I treated it. I put it in the window and it was seeming fine, and then someone said don't give it direct sunlight, so I kind of panicked. I put it back on that shelf, and it seems like it's done with the dead leaves. I think that's IKEA plant care kind of hitting it, change of environment, but now it seems to be settling down. It seems absolutely fine, touch wood. So I nearly didn't buy that, and I really, really love that plant. It's probably my favourite at the moment, because of this one. So we'll see. I was hoping this would just continue to grow like crazy, and I potted these up together. They came in 3 individual little pots from Rich Rainforest, but I bought more and they didn't like travel well. So yeah, it's always been a bit of a problem for me, this one, but I can't help but really like it because it's really weird. And the final plant I'm going to show you is one I'm really, really sad about. I don't really know what to say about this. I have never, ever been good with this plant, but recently it's just like really, really taken a decline. So this is my Maranta. It's my Maranta plant. It's a variegated one. The yellow isn't what it's supposed to look like. Another big leaf. Doesn't look too good. Isn't very happy. So yeah, I am not sure. I'm just not sure what I'm doing wrong with this plant. It gets good ambient light. It's like 3rd shelf down from the Grow Star grow light. Gets watered enough. It's actually got a bit of a damp bottom. Although doesn't feel it. There's a big drainage hole and I just put my finger in to see what the soil was like. It feels like it's got a damp bottom, but it doesn't. It's weird. I only watered it the other day anyway, but yeah, I do want your advice on all of these obviously, but mainly this one would be preferred, just because I've seen so many beautiful ones. I love Wild Ferns one as well, and they are described as being straightforward, and I don't have that experience with this. This is the same pot, by the way. Can you see? I think this one was like $5.99. But yeah, it's just not loving it. So this used to be a really, really full plant. That's why I put it in such a big pot, but I've cut loads off. Like I'm gonna have to cut all these off now as well. But yeah, let me know what you think to this. I might actually just try it in a different spot. But the problem is, I don't have that much available space. So this is like a quite heavy plant, and it is on my glass shelf, and it's quite a large plant, so it needs to be somewhere there's space. And I use, on top of my wardrobe, I use a plant shelf next to my bed, and then I've got the skinny kind of shelves in the L in my kitchen, and then the plants that like shelf with the grow light, and that's it really for like the bigger bottom plants. So that's it for the video, and I showed you, I don't know, I cleared some away, maybe 5 plants, but they're the ones that I'm mainly struggling with. Everything else it's looking okay, it's not going bad, but these are the ones that every time I see them, I'm a bit like saddened about, because they're obviously on the decline. But if you have any experience with these particular plants, let me know down below. I do think with the alocasia, like I said, the black velvet and the stingray, it could be a dormancy thing, although I haven't experienced that before. I mean, casting my mind back, maybe. You know, the classic IKEA alocasia, the Amazonica, it never went into dormancy. So when I learned, like maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, alocasia went into dormancy, I was just like, oh, like I didn't know that. And my silver dragon and my dragon scale also have, touch wood again, been okay. So it could be that I'm not recognizing the signs, which would just be a shame, because what do they die? Like, they go dormant every year and then they start afresh and then they die again. I mean, like, it's a vicious circle. And it seems really unfair. Like, it's really sad. But everything else, I think, is just a matter of temperature change or just environment, lower light, although some of these are on my grow light shelf, so can't really justify that. But yeah, I don't know, we all have our struggles, don't we? But let me know down below what plants you're struggling with, and maybe I can help you. Maybe I can tell you where and what I do for that particular plant in my collection, see if it helps. But that's it for this week. Give this video a like if you enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will catch you over on Instagram, if not next week. Bye.